Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. I have your questions, minus the hair, from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQvideo. Let's go ahead and get started. First one today comes from Zane Johnson at the Schlock. Hey Aaron Rift, do you think Kenny Omega will end up in WWE? That is the million-dollar question right now. That is what everyone is talking about on the internet. It's the hot topic in wrestling. Kenny Omega dropped the IWGP Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, and there's been a lot of talk about where he will end up for the rest of 2019. Will he stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Will he join All Elite Wrestling with his buddies Cody and the Young Bucks? Or will he go to the greener pastures of WWE? Will he be at Wrestlemania? A lot of speculation. I think he will end up in WWE one day. Will it happen in the near future? That I don't know, because from what I've heard, AEW, they are offering some pretty significant contracts with a lot of money. And Kenny Omega has made it clear it's not about money for him. I think to a degree, everyone considers the financial amount. But I think in Omega's case, he really wants to do what's best for his career overall. And part of that is having the creative freedom to do what he wants to do and what he feels comfortable with. Time will tell. If not this year, I think in the next 5 years we will see Kenny Omega in a WWE ring. I think it's just a matter of time. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. And I got this question here from Sean D. Hey Aaron, with All Elite Wrestling, do you think Kenny finally comes to WWE and WWE offers him a big push since Roman Reigns is out and he can be the top babyface on Raw, as him and Marty Scurll were not part of the revealing of the promotion? I've heard that WWE has made him a significant offer, but again, the question is, will that be enough? Now, if WWE offers him the creative freedom and they want to build the company around him, that might be a hard offer to turn down. And you look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles has had a great run in WWE. He came in 2016 Royal Rumble and he has been red hot. He won the NoDQ.com Superstar of the Year award 3 years in a row. First person to win it 3 times. He's been the WWE champion. He's competed in major events from WrestleMania to the Royal Rumble to SummerSlam. AJ Styles has been in the ring with John Cena, Brock Lesnar, all the big names in the company. AJ Styles has really fit well into the WWE universe, and I think Kenny Omega would be the same. I don't think WWE will have him go through NXT. I think that if they sign him, they're going to make a big deal out of him right out of the gate and push him very strongly. So I think in the long run, he will do well in WWE. I don't think they're going to misuse him or have him in the mid-card. I think if they sign him, they're going to push him to the top and he's going to be a big deal. So that's something to consider and take the chances. And I know him and AJ are friends. Maybe AJ will get to him. Maybe Daniel Bryan will get to him. They'll convince him, hey, they're going to do something with you. Don't worry about it. You're going to be a big star. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting few weeks here in the world of professional wrestling with All Elite Wrestling and WWE, all these big events taking place. A lot going on. It's definitely an interesting year to be a fan right now, even if the WWE product isn't exactly on fire right now. Got this one here from the other Z. Been a while, but over and under 40%, Vince will step down from creative decisions starting next year. Highly unlikely in all likelihood. Let's be real here. Vince McMahon will step down one day. It will happen. He is not immortal. The day Vince McMahon dies, he will not be running the show anymore. But until that happens, or until he is bedridden and completely incapacitated, he's still going to be involved. He will still be running the company in some fashion. I could see Vince in a nursing home. If his brain is still sharp, he'll probably still be doing stuff in terms of running the company. So he's not going to step down. He's not going to willingly step down from what he has spent his entire life building. Ain't going to happen. I mean, it could, but again, slim to none, highly unlikely in all likelihood. Got this one here from Joshua. Hey Aaron, what do you think of these matches happening at WrestleMania? Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title, Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler for the SmackDown title, and then Sasha Banks and Bayley versus two people I've never heard of for the tag team titles. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch seems like a no-brainer. Should be the main event of WrestleMania. If you're going to close WrestleMania with a women's match, this is the one to do. Becky Lynch is red hot. Ronda Rousey's the champ. She has the mainstream name value. That's what you go with, and you have Becky win. Will that happen? I don't know, but the match should happen at the very least. Charlotte and Shayna Baszler. I think it's too soon for Baszler. I don't think they're going to call her up and put her in that match just yet. Plus, Asuka's the champion right now. If anything, we might see one more Charlotte versus Asuka match, a rematch from the previous WrestleMania. That would be my prediction at this point as to what's going to happen. And then the tag match, Sasha and Bayley, yes, but I don't see them facing two unknowns. I think that they will likely face a major team like the Iconics or a legendary tag team like Trish Stratus and Lita or the Bella Twins. It'll be one of those teams. Or maybe Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, which I'm not really that excited about. But I don't think it's going to be some unknown team. Never say never, though, but my feeling is no. Got this one here from Jared J. Smith. Hey, Aaron, what were your thoughts on Ken Shamrock as IC champion? When talking about past champions, he's one name that doesn't come up. Ken Shamrock is just one name that doesn't really come up, period, that much. He had his 2-year run in WWE, and then the company never really acknowledged him again. I don't know what happened between him and the company, but I think he does deserve some credit. The short time he was there, I feel he still made a big impact. He was a good IC champion, but I think his real contribution was the concept of submission wrestling and really bringing that front and center, and the idea of guys actually tapping out instead of just verbally submitting. Shamrock made the tap out a big deal in WWE, and then everybody else started doing it, from Kurt Angle to Chris Jericho and every other wrestler that had submission holds. The tap out started becoming the norm. But it was Shamrock, I think, that really got that into the mainstream and made that a commonplace in all of mainstream professional wrestling. Got this one here from Tevin. Please answer in video. If Stephanie never gave John Cena a shot in the first place, who do you think would have been the face that ran the place for 14 years instead of Cena? Well, I have said this before. I'm not really a big fan of the what if questions because there's just no way to know. But you look at the next guys in line. Dave Bautista might have had more longevity as a top star. Randy Orton might have gotten more of the spotlight. Guys like Chris Jericho and Edge probably would have had more focus put on them. So I would say the safe way to answer that would be that the guys behind Cena would have had more opportunities and maybe somebody else would have risen above. Probably not. I think it would have been those core guys that I just mentioned. One of those guys, or maybe a couple of them, would have been slightly higher up the totem pole. I don't know if there would have been like one face of the company. If it was going to be anybody, it would have been Batista or Randy Orton, at least for that 5-6 year period. Got this one here from It's the Costanza, who is still not up to speed. So this is your last warning. After this, I'm no longer answering questions with that hashtag. So It's the Costanza. I appreciate you being very enthusiastic about 20 years, but we are now in our 21st year of NoDQ.com. So you got to get up to up to the times here. All right, so he says now that it's 2019, and then he gives me like a very lengthy, deep question here. What's the best and worst moments from 1989, 1999, and 2009? All the memorial moments from the years ending in the number 9 in WWE. All right, so 89, obviously the Mega Power storyline was amazing. Probably the worst thing was the Red Rooster. That was just complete garbage. Terry Taylor was a complete joke with that character. Also, the idea of Andre the Giant having to put over the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, the Warrior was a big star, but those matches were just sad to watch. Andre could barely move, and it wasn't pretty. 1999, best stuff would be, the Attitude Era. Steve Austin, The Rock, Mankind, Triple H, the Vince storyline. The worst would probably be a lot of WCW in 1999, and you can take your pick of the worst of WCW, whether it was Master P showing up and singing songs in Hootie Hoo or whatever the hell he did, and then the finger poke of doom, the Hogan Flair double turn, Vince Russo coming in and botching everything, even worse than it already was. Sorry, Virtue. But yeah, just take your pick of anything in WCW for the worst of 99. 2009, best stuff, probably SummerSlam. I was there. That was a fun show. CM Punk doing his gimmick where he turned heel, him and Jeff Hardy. To me, that was probably the highlight, the Jeff Hardy CM Punk storyline. Worst was probably just the overall PG aspect of WWE. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't a fan of Randy Orton and Shane McMahon. Like, I loved the angle where Orton punted Vince and then he won the Rumble. That was great, but the follow-up was really weak. Shane McMahon coming out there and throwing his phantom punches at Orton, that was bad. And that storyline kind of just went downhill for me. And then WrestleMania, Orton and Triple H was a big disappointment. All right, so this one comes from Ace. Do you see ESPN wanting to get involved with wrestling? I could see them working something out with the Khan family to get AEW on it, or is it a little too big of a dream? The channel they debut on will make or break this. That's an interesting question. I don't think so. ESPN seems to have a pretty good relationship with WWE, so I would be really surprised if they got involved, but who knows? I mean, anything's possible. The Khan family, they have a lot of influence. $6 billion they're worth. Apparently AEW is going to be offering some big money contracts, and there are apparently some networks that are interested. But yeah, like you said, the bigger the network, the better chance they're going to have. But they really have to build their brand first. I mean, yeah, they have a grassroots following and they have a strong fan base, but they gotta show some consistency that they can produce big time shows on a regular basis and deliver on a regular basis before I feel like a major network is really gonna go all in with them. The networks are gonna need to see more than just one show. People were impressed with All In, but they got to do more. They got to be able to be consistent with the quality of the product. So we'll see what happens, but never say never. Got this one here from Eric Cruz. Lately, Raw and SmackDown have had one or both shows end with a women's segment in a match. Is this WWE legitimately believing the women's division is deserving of the main event, or is the Roman Reigns absence or of the face of WWE hurting it? Well, I think WWE is trying to push the women era as strongly as possible, and with Ronda Rousey, it's their best shot of doing it. I said this when Ronda debuted last year, and I think the women are going to main event WrestleMania. So, WWE is trying to make this women's division a big deal, and they've succeeded. It has become better in quality than it was in the past, and it is taken way more seriously. Maybe if Roman Reigns was still around, it would not get quite as much emphasis. I do feel with Roman gone and the overall lack of star power with Strowman injured and all that. I feel like the last few weeks, WWE just said, hey, whatever, we're going to throw the women out there in the main event. But yeah, I think we're going to see more of it regardless. Maybe not quite as frequently once all the big names come back, but I still think as long as Ronda's around and as long as Becky's hot, we're going to keep seeing women getting more and more of those main event spots. And I got this one here from Ivan. Hey Aaron, Happy New Year. Hope 2009 is as great to you in 2018. I could be wrong, but it still seems to me that Dean Ambrose is still being cheered since his heel turn in October. Why do you think it is? WWE just completely screwed up this Dean Ambrose heel turn. The actual heel turn itself was done extremely well. It was a major shock. Nobody saw it coming, but the follow-up was just very weak. WWE hasn't done a good enough job of making Ambrose scary, making him a vicious, nasty heel that he can be. Instead, it's been very watered down, and he still comes out with his old music, and they added the siren to it, which is very lazy. Give him a full-fledged new song, and give him more of an edge, give him more of an attitude. I just haven't been a fan of how he has been utilized, and I think the crowd reaction at TLC just speaks volumes. And yeah, I think people still want to cheer the guy because WWE hasn't done a good enough job of making him a serious, credible heel. So I think that's why he's not getting booed out of the buildings like he should if he was an effective enough heel. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting NoDQ.com. Pick up a shirt, NoDQ.com/shirts. There's a sale through the weekend where you can get 20% off your order. So support the NoDQ Galaxy, pick up a t-shirt, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Business is picking up with the returns of John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan. It's going to be a crazy Raw. We got the Royal Rumble coming up. We got the All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing rally coming up on Tuesday, which is taking place the same day as SmackDown Live. Some big stuff happening. So NoDQ.com, stay tuned, stay informed, and I will see you guys next time.